Excellent coverage by the Broncos, led by Ernest Jones. Just a 15-yard return by Vanover. Look at the Kansas City offensive line. They've played well. They have not allowed a sack the last 2 games. Alt, Zock, Grunhart, Shields, and Sigler. The quarterback, Steve Bono. Running back, Marcus Allen, Kimball Andrews. We'll also see much of Todd McNair and Donnell Bennett. Chiefs starting from the 14. And Bono dumps it off. Marcus Allen with a short pickup. Stopped by the weak side linebacker, the rookie John Mobley. Let's check out the Broncos defensive unit. Dan Williams, a question mark, hurt his knee once again last week in the game against the Ravens, but he is in the starting lineup with Lodish, Michael Dean Perry, Alfred Williams, who has 7.5 sacks. Linebackers have played well. Mobley, Aldridge, Bill Romanowski, a terrific pickup. Crockett and Washington at the corners. Braxton and Atwater are the safeties. 2nd down and 7. And the give to Allen, and he is bottled up. Michael Dean Perry getting the reps, along with Bill Romanowski to stop Marcus Allen inside the 20. Marcus Allen, who says he's hurting a bit. Sam, how do you describe it? He has an extremely low back injury.
Extremely low back. That's like your buttocks muscle.
Exactly.
But it's extremely low.
I knew you would clear it up.
Yes, especially when you're sitting down. It's even lower.
3rd and 4 at the 20. We're just underway. And Bono able to rifle it for the 1st down, connecting with Damon Hughes. A pickup of 12, met by the extra defensive back, Torrey James.
Just an inside route by Damon Hughes. Motion comes inside to hold the linebackers. You can see the outside technique by the corner. Inside, the ball's thrown where really you're going to have to foul the man, or you're going to have to come across and run the risk of him catching it and making the long run afterwards. Big 1st down and the 1st drive.
So the Chiefs at their 32-yard line. Allen and Anders are the running backs. That is Vanover in motion. And a big hole. Marcus Allen tripped up short of the 1st down. Good job by the Chiefs offensive line.
This offensive line has been together. They've started every game this season, and it's important for your offensive linemen to be together. Watch, right? The hole is going to open up right in here. There it is. Nobody waiting except for a linebacker, Alan Aldridge. First guy to get him, and it's 4 or 5 yards downfield.
The Chiefs have won the last 3 games against the Broncos, and they have won the last 2 here at Mile High, which is very difficult to do. On a 2nd down and 3, Anders tried to spin, but he was stopped. John Mobley, 1st-round draft pick, the 15th player selected out of Kutztown in Pennsylvania, the same school that produced Buffalo's all-pro wide receiver, Andre Reed. John Mobley, incidentally, Sam, Denver's 1st ever draft pick from Kutztown.
And they're not really, you can tell by the way they talk about him, they have high hope, and they think they had a good pick, but they aren't sure exactly how long it's going to be before he fulfills all of those hopes.
3rd and 2. And the Broncos pick off the ball. Anders stopped by the middle linebacker, Alan Aldridge.
Saw the hole. That was his gap to fill. Defenses in short yardage situations like that make sure that somebody has each gap. The gap meaning the space between each offensive lineman, between the guard and the tackle and so forth. Just a straight running game. And we thought this would be a running afternoon for both sides of the ball. Didn't even get back to the line of scrimmage.
So the punting team has come on. Louis Aguiar will kick away to Rod Smith, who has made it back from a broken collarbone suffered back in August. Look out, bad snap. Let's see what Aguiar does with it. And now is able to get it away. A little improvising by Aguiar, and did a great job getting it down to the 10-yard line.
He sure did. I'm surprised there were no flags. Usually you're going to have people downfield on a delayed punt.
That ends up as a 51-yard punt. Penalty, well, there was, as we were in commercial, during Mark White with the announcement, ineligible receiver downfield, Tony Richardson of the Broncos, so Aguiar gets another opportunity. And a 51-yarder is erased. This is Rod Smith working his way to the 45. Rod Smith making his first appearance as a punt return man. Todd Kinchin had been returning punts, but has had some fumble problems. 19-yard return by Smith. The #1 total offense in the league. A very strong offensive line that has done a great job, sparked by Gary Zimmerman, perennial all-pro player. The quarterback is John Elway. The running backs, Terrell Davis, who leads the NFL in rushing coming into today, and Aaron Craver, who has played well. And the receivers, Anthony Miller, who feels he has not gotten the ball as much as he would like. Ed McCaffrey coming off a 3-touchdown game last week against the Ravens. And the premier tight end in the league in Shannon Sharp, who last week had 9 receptions, 161 yards, and killed the Chiefs in that earlier meeting.
You'll see John Elway go to him a lot in the clutch situations when they need those strategic first downs to keep the drive going. We'll talk about Anthony Miller a little bit later, but it's a little discouraging to hear a guy complaining about not getting the ball when his team's been doing so well win-loss line.
Broncos from their 45-yard line. Off the roll, Elway going short range, has Craver, and he coughed it up. But it's covered up by Ed McCaffrey, very quick to get to the ball. Good pop by James Hasty.
That's just a little bootleg, or what's called a waggle. You fake to the right. Just at the end of the play, you can see the hit. Ball, helmet right on the ball. Ed McCaffrey, though, is coming back, as all good blockers downfield should be, coming back to make a block, and there's the ball, and he gets, quote, lucky. He was right where the ball, right where he should be to recover it.
And it is a pickup of 9, a 2nd and 1 at the 46-yard line. McCaffrey, 87 in motion. Elway throwing deep and has Sharp. Touchdown. A 46-yard pass play. Shannon Sharp with his 6th touchdown reception of the season.
Shannon Sharp is one of those players that catches the ball with his hands. You'll see it all day today. Now this one, he's got to reach out to catch it in full extension, full stride, almost a wide receiver as a tight end. He is a wide receiver as a tight end. He can run like a wide receiver and catch the ball just as well.
Elam with the extra point. Wait a second, you say he catches with his hands.
As opposed to in his body. You catch the ball with your fingers in your hands, much safer way to catch.
So Denver striking early. They lead Kansas. Were beaten by Shannon Sharp, Tracy Simeon, and Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis had a superb game last week against Seattle. Tracy Simeon had his hands full with Sharp in the earlier meeting, although he felt, you read the quotes, thought he did a good job against him. 9 catches for Sharp in that first meeting at Arrowhead. Got away from McNair. Vanover now starts back and gets to the 15-yard line. Some confusion by Kansas City.
Well, the kick was low. It was one of those spirals that is up and down, and it takes that funny hop. Wasn't handled very well. Back to the touchdown. Now watch the shift right here. This ball carrier, the running back has to be completely still. Watch his feet. They're still moving when the motion started. This is just the kind of thing that when you look at the films, you say that's illegal procedure, but each crew calls it a little bit differently. Some of them are real picky, some of them let it get away with that kind of movement.
And in this instance, they let it get away.
Absolutely. Jerry Martin's crew didn't think that was significant.
Kansas City's first drive started on its own 14. This one from the 15, and Bono's pass is dropped. Kimball Andrews not able to hand on. A low pass that was thrown. Good pressure also from the right defensive end, Alfred Williams.
Alfred Williams played for me at Cincinnati. He is a big, rangy guy. He's on top of it. You see his hands go up. He bats a lot of balls down because he times the throw, and he's got such a long reach that he can anticipate the throw and knock him away.
He spent 4 years with the Bengals, a year with 49ers, signed with Denver as a free agent. 7.5 sacks. He had 2 in the game last week. Second down and 10. And it's Allen on the slant. The acceleration by Marcus Allen picked up 6, met by the strong side linebacker Bill Romanowski. The Denver Broncos coming at 6-1, best record in the AFC. It's their best start since 1989. Kansas City Chiefs 5 up, 2 down. They started the year 4-0, lost to San Diego and Pittsburgh, had a bye, and then beat Seattle 10 days ago in a Thursday night game at Arrowhead, 34-16. It is a 3rd and 4 at the 21-yard line. And Bono goes incomplete. Intended for Vanover.
Nervous throw. Alfred Williams on the play, on the first down play, got right in his face quick. Alfred Williams was rushing that time. He could feel him around him and didn't know how close he was. And when you're a quarterback and you reach back to throw the ball, you don't want anybody grabbing you because that's why you pull a shoulder out. I think that time he just stepped up there and tried to yank it out there real quick without a full motion and fell short.
Rod Smith in his second year out of Missouri Southern. A good return on that first punt. Louis Aguilar had a 51-yarder erased. Oh, and that one is off the side of the foot. A penalty nullifying the first punt, and then Rod Smith was able to get return. Here's Smith again down the sideline, cuts the other way, across the 40 inside the 35. Ball down by Reggie Tongue. Rod Smith, who has taken over the punt return duties from Todd Kinchin, takes this one 37 yards.
As you look at this return, you're going to see what looks to be a potential clip, but as long as the blocker's head is in front of the tackler, see it right up here at the top, maybe we're not going to quite, there it is right there. His head was in front, it's a legal clip. You can hit him anywhere as long as it's above the waist. Nothing below the waist on any change of possession like a punt.
8 minutes, 18 seconds remaining. In the running backs, Davis and Craver. And here's Davis touching for the first time. And he's tripped up at the 32-yard line. Terrell Davis, 6th round draft pick, gunning for his 2nd straight 1,000-yard season. A look at the Kansas City front 4. Familiar names: Smith, Phillips, Sully Amua, and Booker. Outstanding in the linebacking core with Derek Thomas, Tracy Simeon, Anthony Davis, and perhaps the best secondary in the NFL, Carter, Washington, Collins, and Hasty. 2nd down and 7 at the 31. Elway able to rifle it for the first down, combining with Sharp, who was covered by the strong safety, Brian Washington.
Shannon Sharp's like a wide receiver. He goes in motion just like a receiver would be. They had Dwayne Carswell in there playing the true tight end position. Motion's going to start across, or has already started across. Straight drop back pass. Solid base zone blocking. We're going to see that today, and the running game.
And a first down at the 23. Elway fumbled the snap. And the Chiefs say they have it. But they do not. Recovered by the Broncos. Looked like Elway was able to get it back.
I like to see that decision made quickly before the pileup starts. You know, I think if there's anything that the league should take up is when there is a fumble and that pileup starts, some way to regulate, get everybody away from that ball so that nothing happens underneath the pile that takes the ball away from the recovering ball player.
Anthony Miller to the right. Ed McCaffrey to the left. 2nd and 10. It's back to the ground for Davis. And they have bottled him up. A short pickup. Terrell Davis became the lowest drafted player in the history of the NFL to run for more than 1,000 yards. That last season, 1,117. 21 backs selected before Davis in the 95 draft. And the scenario this season, 817 coming in. He's picked up 53 first down. Leads the NFL in 4 separate categories. 3rd down and 9. Elway's pass deflected.
They went with 5 wide receivers, actually 4 plus Shannon Sharp. In that situation, he is virtually a wide receiver, all spread out. Nobody in the backfield. 5 offensive linemen blocking the first 5 rushers. Anybody else that comes, he has to throw the ball hot to a quick receiver. John Elway's been doing this for a long time. He can sense it coming, tries to throw it. And Talimua just timed it up, reached up there and knocked it down. Good field position, though. At the start of this drive, is going to result in nothing more than a field goal.
A 40-yarder by Elam. And Denver up 10-0. Minutes remaining in this first quarter. The Broncos with a 10-0 lead on the Chiefs. Jason Elam a moment ago kicked a 40-yard field goal, getting set to kick it off to Tamarick Vanover. Chiefs had an adventure in that last kick return. And here's Vanover, across the 10. Puts the speed on. Gets across the 40. Elam is back. Vanover inside the 20, and he goes all the way. A 96-yard kickoff return by Vanover. And Tamarick Vanover brings history, and the 3rd of his career. He had 2 last season, and that is a franchise record for the Chiefs. Denver now leading Kansas City 10-7. And Stoyanovich will kick it off. The deep man, Vaughn Hebron, one-time Philadelphia Eagle. And here's Hebron out across the 15. And accelerates to the 30-yard line. 25-yard return by Hebron. Well, Tamarick Vanover with some similar moments, similar to what we saw with the 97-yard return. He began last season, literally the opening kickoff of the season for the Chiefs. 99 yards for a score against the Seattle Seahawks. Going straight down the sideline. No shot for the Seahawks. Then the day before Christmas, also against Seattle, he victimized the Seahawks for 89 yards and the touchdown. Vanover was one of only 2 players in the NFL last season to take a pair of kickoffs back for touchdown. Terrell Davis goes for 15, stopped by Mark Collins. And one more look, this just moments ago, a 97-yard return. And Marty Schottenheimer, Sam telling us last night, well, he's still banged up, doesn't have the full speed going, but not bad. Only Elam, the kicker, had a shot.
You know, he's had rib injuries, a knee, and he's playing hard. Runs flat-footed, Marty said, but he runs fast flat-footed.
First down at the 45 for the Broncos, just under 5 remaining in this first quarter. Elway to a wide-open Anthony Miller. Ball down by the free safety, Mark Collins, and that's good for 31. What protection, though, for John Elway.
Protection is one thing, but blowing the coverage down the field is another. The protection that John Elway has gotten all season long continues. Look at this. He's got time to see it. Look at the vision he's got right here. No one in between. Mark Collins' job, though, is to be in that deep center field. He wasn't there, and that's why the receiver was so wide open.
Anthony Miller with only his 23rd catch of the season. He's a 5-time Pro Bowl player. 6 years with San Diego. It's his 3rd year with Denver. Had 59 receptions last year. Had 84 with the Chargers in '93. And as we mentioned earlier, not happy that he has not been getting the ball more frequently.
Wants the ball more, but he's got to catch the ball every time it comes to him. He's got catchable plays. But this is a receiver with a lot of speed. They have to respect him, and they'll get double coverage over there on him a lot today.
There were a couple of drops last week against the Ravens. First down at the 24-yard line, and on the slant, it is Davis. Protects the ball so well. Taken down by Derek Thomas and James Hasty. Next Saturday right here on NBC. Second down and 8. And that was an attempted swing pass for Davis.
And Anthony Davis came in as the blitzing linebacker, gave no time for that one to develop. Everybody out of that backfield immediately. There was no extra blocker in there. That ball was designed to be thrown quick.
Elway, as you see, 4 of 6 with the 94 yards and a touchdown.
I don't know how you defend this offense. With Sharp, the receivers, Terrell Davis coming out of that backfield. No wonder he thinks this is the best offense he's ever played on. John Elway, though.
3rd and 8 from the 22, and a bullet pass that is caught for the first down by Rod Smith. Only a second catch of the season. Stopped by James Hasty. It's a pickup of 12, and Hasty shaken up on the play.
This Rod Smith, broken collarbone earlier in the season, doesn't seem to be bothering him now. He'll go right in the middle and get it. James Hasty is still on the ground. Made the initial contact right there. And, you know, it looked like a clean hit, but sometimes you have done everything right, and the impact is such it just connects the wrong way. They have great equipment in this league. Everybody is well protected. They know how to fall. They know how to deliver blows. But the injuries are still, you never know when you walk out there if you're going to walk off.
James Hasty having another outstanding year, but he has been hit by injury. Sat out the game a couple of weeks back against the Steelers with an injured wrist, and then returned against Seattle. This is second season with the Chiefs. After 7 years with the New York Jets, people actually thought he was through in his final year with the Jets, but he was playing with a serious knee injury. It was incredible that he was able to get on the field and take his regular shift at right corner.
I think most teams, when they play Kansas City, they think of James Hasty as a strong defensive corner that'll come up and jam the wide receivers tough in that bump and run technique, but not as fast as a lot of corners in this league.
How long would you stick with a coach before replacing him if the team was not winning? That was intended for Sharp.
What's the difference between those two? Keep Fleischer.
But Sam, it is all at NBC.com/sports. You get a lot of questions asked in your direction.
I get a lot of...
obviously, don't just take the time out, as Randy has, to field the questions. And some people go, a little extra.
Yeah, some people take cheap shots, much like
exactly.
yourself.
It is a 2nd down and 10 at the 10, actually just outside the 10-yard line. Just under 3 minutes remaining in this opening quarter. Elway throwing for the end zone for Sharp. Touchdown! He beat the linebacker, Derek Thomas. Second time this first quarter that Elway and Sharp have hooked up. For Sharp, his 7th touchdown of the season, and Elway among the leaders throwing his 16th.
And the second time that Shannon Sharp has beaten a linebacker to catch the ball. That's good game planning because they are matching him up with linebackers.
And the point after by Jason Elam, extending to a 17-7 Denver lead.
Sharp in motion. They don't use him as a true tight end all the time. And then just a beautiful touch pass just over the defender. See, the defender never sees the ball coming. And when you're running with a receiver, you're watching his reaction to the ball as it arrives. Shannon Sharp didn't give him a long enough look. The ball dropped right in.
And for Sharp, that is his 3rd catch of the day. He leads NFL tight ends in pass receptions by a considerable margin. He is actually on pace for 110 catches. The record for a tight end is 95 by Todd Christensen, who did it with the Raiders in 1986. And in his 7 years against Kansas City, Sharp has had a very fine time. He now has 66 receptions and 8 touchdowns. And Marty Schottenheimer in yet another discussion with the linebacker, this time Derek Thomas.
One more look at Shannon Sharp coming in motion. Touchdown just a moment ago. Ball will be snapped on the hip of the tackle. There's the snap. Quarterback looks straight down the field. When he sees that matchup, linebacker versus Shannon Sharp, just throw the ball and let Shannon do his thing.
I don't know, Sam. Is Tamarick Vanover well rested enough? It was just moments ago he took the kickoff 97 yards. Here we go again. Vanover across the 20, and this time gang tackle. Led by Detron Smith. Vanover is taken down. He runs it back for 19.
I'll guarantee you, when they came off the field on the last kickoff return, when he went 97 yards for a touchdown, they had a lot of conversation about how they'd stop him the next time. And they did. You know, the main thing about a kickoff coverage is everybody's staying in their lane, so that you're forcing him back to more people, so that help is always on the way.
Well, this crowd urging on the defense, also trying to make things even more difficult for the Chiefs. They start out at the 22-yard line, and the quick pitch over the middle to Keith Cash, who is stacked up by the middle linebacker, Alan Aldridge. Keith Cash, bothered by a sprained knee early in the season, missed 3 games. In fact, the Kansas City 3 tight ends have all been hit by injuries. This is the first time that all 3 have been available for the same game. Cash and Derek Walker and Reggie Johnson. Pick up a 5, a 2nd and 5 at the 27. 2 minutes to go in this first quarter. Kimball Anders could not get going. Try to make the cut, but he was taken down. Ma'a Tonuvasa, second year from Hawaii, was the first.
What was that
to
again?
Get to him. Clear to me.
I wanted to say Kazunite there for a minute. Kimball Anders with the counter play. You can see the guard, the tackle pulling in front. The action started to the right and then back to the left, fooling nobody. Going into this drive, Kansas City only had 30 yards, and they picked up about 5 more. 35, Denver, 137 yards.
3rd and 6 at the 26. Photo in trouble. And threw it away. Kimball Anders in the area covered by Bill Romanowski. And the Broncos doing it on both sides of the ball. They've done it offensively, and they have done it defensively. Kansas City's only score was on that 97-yard kick return.
In talking to Denver players yesterday, you know, they talked about maybe they were going to have to blitz Bono to get pressure on him. They really haven't had to do that. The pressure has been there. Kansas City actually looks out of sync as this game begins.
And here's Aguiar from his 10. Rod Smith is back. And a good punt by Aguiar. Smith. Rod Smith looking very sharp, getting it to the 30-yard line. Went for 12 after a beautiful 58-yard punt. Smith taken down by Greg Mineski. And the Denver Broncos back to the offense with a minute to go in this first quarter. Well, the report on James Hasty, the injury to his right wrist. I had mentioned that he sat out against the Steelers with that wrist injury, and his return is questionable. He has been replaced by Darren Anderson. A first down at the 31. Elway able to just stand in the pocket, completes to Davis. And he puts the speed on, although he says he does not have blazing speed. Pretty good acceleration there. Run out by Simeon and Collins. And that's good for 22 yards.
Sometimes speed is described as your 40-yard dash time when those pro scouts come out and measure you. But football speed is different than the 40-yard dash. You're carrying about 9 to 11 pounds of equipment, and you're running away from somebody. Sometimes that stimulates you a little bit.
First down at the 47-yard line. This first quarter coming to a close. 35 seconds remaining. And now Davis stopped in his tracks. Strong safety Brian Washington making the tackle.
Now going back,
the 209th consecutive sellout, regular or postseason here in Denver. James Hasty is back. The Chiefs saying that his return was questionable. He has answered the question. He's back on the field after hurting his wrist once again. Second quarter is underway. And here is Elway looking right and left, couldn't find anyone, and then decides to run and does the job, runs for the first down.
do you see where age has kicked in his performance in any way? This is the guy searching. All the patterns were developing to his right. You see his head turn to the right as he looks for the open receiver. Nothing happening there. Pulls it down as he starts to run, nipping at his heels, but jerking his feet away. That's exactly what you have to do and hope that nobody gets around in front of it. Yeah, yesterday Mike Shanahan said, yeah, the arm's still there. Instead of throwing it 80 yards, we can still throw it 65. Big deal.
Picked up 13 on that run. Nice play action fake. And Elway's pass incomplete. The diving attempt made by Miller. So Anthony Miller getting a look here in the first half. Caught one earlier. And that pass was just off the mark. A 2nd and 10 at the 35.
Everything's cleared out to the right. Miller's coming all the way across the field. And the pass is just out, just in front of him there. That one's really not a drop pass. And you can see John knows that he had a chance for a big gain then. 2nd down and 10 at the 35 in Kansas City territory. The Broncos 17 and the Chiefs 7. Off the pitch, Davis. Kind of a jump start for Davis, moving forward, taking the pitch, picking up yardage. Brian Washington made the stop. All day today, Denver has used Shannon Sharpe in motion. They have not really lined him up as a true tight end very much. That time he came in motion rather than becoming a receiver. He became a blocker. And when you block from the outside in, you can't block below the waist. That's a clip or a crackback. Not a clip, it's a crackback. Just stalk block the man in front, pitch the ball to your leading rusher. Pick up 5 yards.
Well, Davis going to the bench, getting a rest. Denver brings on the extra receiver. 3rd down and 5 at the 30-yard line. Elway from the shotgun. And fires for the end zone. Incomplete. And took the side judge with him. Pass intended for Mike Sherrard. And Darren Anderson is shaken up.
The crowd is reacting to the official getting in the way there. I don't think it had a thing to do with the completion of the pass. The ball just overthrown.
And you saw the contact with the side, deadly inside the 40, but this from 48 yards away.
Missed 2 in their last meeting earlier in the year.
And this one is no good. Off to the...
Even reacting to that miss. Field position, though, for Kansas City. Their first 3 drives have ended in punts.
3 possessions, only 1 first down. Play fake, and Bono's pass in the middle of the field is completed to Camrick Vanover, met by the strong safety, Tyrone Braxton. It's a 24-yard advance, so Vanover has been the offense, the 97-yard kick return of the first quarter, and now the pickup right here.
Vanover's just going down and inside. The safety's giving him plenty of cushion, making sure he's not going to go deep to the post pattern. Good throw that time from Steve Bono.
It is a first down at the Denver 38-yard line. 2 minutes gone by in the second quarter. Again, the play action. And Bono, after stepping up, is able to complete at the marker to Chris Penn, who was met immediately by the left corner, Ray Crockett. Chris Penn with his 26th catch of the year. He had an outstanding game in that first meeting against Denver in Kansas City with 5 receptions, a couple of clutch grabs in the fourth quarter down the stretch. It is a Kansas City first down. The major complaint of Marty Schottenheimer, despite that record of 5-2, Chiefs have not been able, for the most part this season, to put together sustained drives. That's certainly been the case thus far today. Marcus Allen spinning to the 25, and Mobley and Aldridge were right there to stop him.
You know, in their first 3 drives today, 6 plays is the most they've been able to run together. They started in good field position thanks to the missed field goal a moment ago, but there you see it. 6, 3, 3, and punting every time. Good drive going right now. And first down now, watch a lot of play action pass. We saw 2 in this drive already. Steve Bono's a good ball handler. It's a good time to throw the ball on first down.
Now Todd McNair is split out to the right side. A 2nd and 8. Big rush. Bono got it away and completes to Hughes. Aiden Hughes on the reception, and a penalty marker is down. Crockett made the stop.
Down the field, and I think it's good blocking. Marty Schottenheimer teaches it. be tough for the touchdown block. Last week against Seattle, there were a lot of fights resulting in fines because of those flags.
Marcus Allen, one of the players fined, involved in an incident. Again, play action, and Bono again to the middle of the field, nicely executed, and able to combine with Marcus Allen, met by Bill Romanowski. It's a 20-yard pickup. Right here, let's check in with Greg Gumbel.
All right, Marv, in Baltimore, the Ravens and the Rams tied at 31. 10 seconds to play in the overtime. This is how it ended. Vinny Testaverde, 22 yards to Michael Jackson, and the Ravens are a winner. The final, 37-31 over St. Louis. Marv.
Greg, well, Vinny Testaverde and the Ravens effective last week against the Broncos. Broncos in a shootout winning 45-34. Baltimore went to the no-huddle, which bothered Denver. Here's Allen. Not able to make the turn. Lionel Washington making the stop. Kansas City Chiefs have been so effective in the red zone, and as we in football say, Sam, that is inside the 20.
Inside the 20, but you know what people really inside football say? The red zone begins where you get to your field goal range. I think if you had to measure a spot on the field, it's the 20-yard line. But the field goal range usually starts somewhere when the line of scrimmage is around the 30-yard line to the 35-yard line, depending on the wind. But for the stat, it's the 20.
Second and 9 at the 14. And Bono throwing to the end zone, and it is intercepted on a deflection. Tyrone Braxton able to make the play on the interception of the season, so that's the first time this year that the Kansas City Chiefs have come up empty in the red zone as they are stopped. Braxton, who had an excellent game a week ago against the Ravens. Denver starting out at the 20-yard line, leading Kansas City by the score of 17-7. As Terrell Davis got the call, stopped by Tracy Simeon.
Back to the interception a moment ago that kept him out of the end zone for the first time this year. You'll see Crockett right here, and the inside safety, Braxton, right here. Ball is going to come in, and just as the ball arrives, Crockett knocks it loose. Tyrone Braxton's there. Sorry, that was hard for me to say.
I noticed that, Sam, but
take your hands off from around my neck, Marvin. I'm talking as it is.
Second and 7 at the 23-yard line. A completion for Craver. Aaron Craver has a first down. Thomas and Washington make the stop. It's good for 11 yards. Aaron Craver returned last week against Baltimore. He'd been bothered by a knee problem, wearing a brace. Mike Shanahan saying hopes it's the brace that slowed him down. It's not still the knee, but looks to be running well here in the first half.
They've adjusted the brace all week, and really he could probably play without it. It's a safety thing now more than anything else. On that last play, all John Elway turned around blind with somebody in his face and still got the ball.
And a first down at the 34-yard line. Elway improvising, brings McCaffrey in motion. And completes to the tight end, Sharp. Washington and Simeon combined to make the stop. Well, next Sunday, NBC Sports will present more. The Minnesota Vikings hosting the Kansas City Chiefs. Others will see Bill Parcells' Patriots going up against Jimmy Johnson's Dolphins. Davis stopped by Simeon. And it is goal, and you'll see it right here on NBC. First down at the 45-yard line. Elway broken up, intended for Sharp. Good play by the free safety, Mark Collins, who got a piece of it.
The pressure coming from Anthony Davis, linebacker, blitzing on the play. There was no more time left. The play probably was designed to develop farther across the field. Shannon Sharp doesn't miss many throws that are within his reach. This one is right there, but you see Anthony Davis right in John Elway's face. Should have been caught.
Second and 10 at the 45. 7:12 remaining first half. Inside handoff for Davis. And he is stopped by Joe Phillips. To this point, Terrell Davis has not been able to break any runs. 9 carries, 36 yards. Last week, 100 94 yards, including a 71-yard touchdown run. And in that first meeting back in week 4 against the Chiefs, 14 rushes, 130 yards first half. Different situation in the second half. Also Denver looking for the passing game in that second half. And again, looks like James Hasty is shaken up, hurt his wrist in the first of 4 at home. They lead the Chiefs 17-7. James Hasty forced to the sideline once again and re-injured the right wrist. Darren Anderson has come on in right corner. Elway could not find anyone. Elway being chased by Smith and just throws it aside.
This has been their third down formation for most of the day. It's really 5 wide receivers, counting Shannon Sharpe as a wide receiver, but nobody in the backfield. Kansas City, on every one of those attempts, has rushed only 4 defensive linemen. They haven't brought any extra people to try to get pressure on John Elway.
And the first punt of the day coming up now for Tom Ruin in his 3rd season out of Colorado, averaging 43 yards per punt. The ever dangerous Tamarick Vanover is back. And Ruin sends a pop fly. Fair catch, handled by Vanover. Just inside the 15, a 37-yard punt, but he did prevent the return by Vanover. You're watching at their 15-yard line. Marcus Allen telling us last night of the many memories he's had playing here at Mile High, looking back to the days of the Orange Trust. Almost pass incomplete. Chris Penn not able to hang on. He was covered by Steve Atwater. Marcus telling us that he thinks of people like Randy Grattershaw, Tom Jackson, Lewis Wright. And he said they played like they were legitimately crazy. And he meant that with admiration and affection.
The rules were different then, and they did play crazy. Played with reckless abandon was the term used. He also said it's funny, a lot of his younger teammates don't even know those names.
2nd and 10 at the 15. Allen Anders in the backfield. And Marcus Allen looking to cut and then brought down. Broncos have done a very good job against Allen. Tyrone Braxton, Alan Aldridge combined to make the stop. Marcus 6 carries, 21 yards. That's been it.
The Broncos have really won the battles on all fronts. Kansas City started an average of their own 17-yard line. Denver, the 39-yard line. When you start giving up that many yards, it's like 2 first downs that you're handing Denver when you back people up. That's special teams and field position.
And there you see the Kansas City Chiefs average start at the 17-yard line. 3rd down and 9. A deep drop. Bono in trouble and just looked to get it away to avoid the sack. Alan Aldridge putting the pressure on.
The blitz of the linebackers coming after Steve Bono. They were going to add the extra rushers to get to him. Clean through the line of scrimmage. Really lucky to get rid of this ball. There was really no one in the area he was throwing in the general direction of in order to avoid the sack.
And Louis Aguiar is back at his 1, punting for the 4th time. Rod Smith has had an outstanding day and awaits the punt at the 37-yard line. 5:20 remaining in the first half. Fair catch, handled by Smith. 41-yard punt. And Denver will return to the offense. Well, tonight on 3rd line, they lead the Chiefs 17-7. Coming up on 5 minutes to go in this second quarter. Elway's pass a floater handled by Miller. Anthony Miller with a big gain. Runs it out at the 31, but a penalty marker is down. They'll bring it back. Italy assessed on Denver. Kansas City hit with 2. It is a 1st and 20 back at the 32. And Elway right to the middle of the field where it's picked off by Mark Collins. There's a floater thrown up there, was deflected, and Collins with his 3rd interception of the season.
Neil Smith touches either Elway's arm or the ball just as it's released. And the result, of course, is that floater. There's no spiral on the ball. You see Neil Smith coming from this side, reaching out. He catches him, looks like around the elbow area there. Doesn't get the ball, but he gets his arm. Ball hangs forever. Pressure coming from Neil Smith right here. Good quarterback steps up in the pocket as he's supposed to, but the long arm, 7.5-foot wingspan on Neil Smith.
10th time this season, Elway has been intercepted. Kansas City first down at the 36-yard line. Donnell Bennett. That's his first carry. Stopped by Alfred Williams, but a flag is thrown. Marty Schottenheimer telling us that we'll see holding.
Those defensive linemen have that jersey pulled real tight. Hard to grab that jersey in there.
It is sent back to a 1st and 20 at the 26-yard line. Play fake. Bono fired it. He had nowhere to go. He was being chased by Alfred Williams. Surprised to see Williams in his face, and then threw one a bit too strong for the tight end, Keith Cash.
Most of those plays are designed so that you block on Alfred Williams as he comes out. Let's see, Alfred will be coming from here. He's going to come quickly. The ball is faked one way, goes back to the right. Usually the quarterback goes to his right because he's a right-handed quarterback. It's easier to throw the ball. Alfred didn't have anybody to slow his rush. No time to throw the ball.
2nd and 20, back at the 26-yard line. Off the play fake. Bono short range to Bennett. And they have him under wraps. Now Bennett stopped by Aldridge and Hasselbeck.
Sean Les Chaparral is fighting down the field. You know, after the ball is caught, that's when receivers become blocked.
Chris Penn is flanked deep to the right side. Vanover to the left. Bono stepping up.
Whistles blew, stop the play.
Intended for Penn. He's here, 76,000 strong. Kansas City with their 4th penalty. Broncos 17-7 over the Chiefs. 3:20 to go, first half. Bono, short range for Allen. Cuts the other way. And taken down at the 29. Alan Aldridge makes the tackle. Alan Aldridge in his 3rd season out of Houston. Marcus Allen is upset. Nothing working offensively for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Denver seems to have all the answers today. Not only on the offensive or defensive side of the ball, but in the special teams as well. Other than the long run back by Tamarick Vanover. I think I've been saying that wrong today. Other than that long run back, Kansas City really hasn't got anything done.
Aguiar's punt, handled by Smith. And Smith dancing his way up across the 40-yard line. A 45-yard punt and a 13-yard return. Great games. First time in his career he has done that. You know, earlier this season there were some questions. People say, is he too old? As you mentioned earlier about the arm strength. Well, he has come on in grand fashion. Terrell Davis, one of the reasons that Elway has been so effective, is stopped by Tracy Simeon. But Davis to this point has not been able to get going in the first half. Elway 9 of 17, 157 yards. John Elway, who at one point was signed by the New York Yankees and was considering baseball, very happy about the Yankees winning the World Series last night. The best man at John Elway's wedding has actually earned a World Championship ring before John. That is the Yankees' Mike Aldrete, who attended Stanford with John Elway. 2 minutes to go in the first half. Broncos 17-7 over the Chiefs. Of the NFL season coming up at halftime. 2nd down and 10 at the 40 for Elway and the Broncos. Saw the opening and may have been tripped by his own man. Looks like he fell over the leg of the left guard, Mark Schlereth, and then was covered up by Derek Thomas.
Quarterback draw.
Defensive backs. Minute and a half remaining in the first half. And Elway able to find the opening, completing with Anthony Miller. And a first down at the Kansas City 47. Minute 26 to go in the half. Denver with 2 timeouts remaining. Kansas City has all 3. And Elway finds a wide open Ed McCaffrey. And he gets out of bounds to stop the clock. Picked up the first down. That's good for 11. And that's the first catch of the day by the 6'5" McCaffrey, who had 3 touchdown receptions against Baltimore last week. Overall, he caught 7 passes for 76 yards. Also, a very tough guy and considered to be an excellent blocker.
He's big enough at 6'3" and 215, but he did a smart thing there. He ran out of bounds to save a timeout.
Elway on a quick pitch to McCaffrey. Broke the tackle. And a penalty ball goes down. Beautiful move though by McCaffrey. Taken down by Collins. He was able to break a tackle, but there is a flag.
In order to slow the rush, held him a little too long.
And as you saw, John Elway did not agree with that call. 1:12 remaining in the half, and now Elway.
Points, don't give that up before they go for 7.
First and 20 at the 46-yard line. Rod Smith, the man in motion. They give to Davis. And that actually a loss on the play. Brian Washington, Martin Bayless right there, lost about a yard. Well, apparently that last timeout was charged to the Kansas City Chiefs, so both clubs with 2 timeouts at Kansas City and Cleveland. Second down and 21. And Elway seeing the opening. Elway diving for the first down, and the crowd loves it. Timeout is taken. So now Denver has 1 remaining, a 22-yard run by Elway. Moments ago, he ran for 13.
Mark, 2-minute drive. Every player has had a piece of the action here. That time, John Elway didn't concede the tackle by going feet first or knees first. He dove for the first down, so the slide counts. He gets every bit of the yardage. Still got enough quarterback scrambling speed to be called dangerous as a quarterback scrambler.
Well, not bad on a 2nd and 21. He runs for 22 yards.
Still only rushing 4 people are the Kansas City Chiefs. Everybody else is in pass coverage, and they're keeping 2 safeties deep. So when you've got 5 receivers coming out quick like that, their strategy is always have a safety to each side covering half of the field. The 4-man rush, however, has not gotten to John Elway, and when it does give him a little pressure, he's made runs like that just as good as completing a long pass.
So the timeout rundown, Denver 1 left, Kansas City has 2. A 1st and 10 at the 25 for the Broncos. 56 seconds to go in the first half, and the Broncos lead the Chiefs 17-7. Now Sharp is split wide to the left side.
Got their first down distance. Now they go for the touchdown.
And Elway going for Sharp, who had a turn twice on that play in the race with the free safety, Mark Collins.
For the first time, they brought 5 rushers. Speed, looking over your right shoulder and then turn all the way back over your left shoulder. Ball was just out of reach.
And the sun also may have been a factor. 2nd and 10 at the 25. Elway with a long look and throws. End zone, what a catch! Touchdown! Mike Sherrod with a magnificent touchdown reception.
That makes the highlight film in the offseason.
Sherrod beating Darren Anderson for his first touchdown of the year. It's a 25-yard pass play. Mike Sherrod, one-time Cowboy, one-time 49er and Giant. He's gone through a difficult injury-hit career. He's come back from a broken leg, a dislocated hip. And the point after by Elam is good. So the Broncos extend the lead.
Darren Anderson is the defender now, replacing James Hasty. But they got into field goal range and then decided to take a couple of shots at the goal line. Once was Shannon Sharp against Mark Collins, and this time, here's the receiver just taking that first step inside to freeze the defender. just long enough to see if he can get an angle to get outside. He really stops the ball with his left hand, reaches up with his right hand to close on it. One more look at it. John Elway, this is what he's looking through. Plenty of vision down the field. Tight spiral. Ball had to be put right there. Really not bad coverage by Darren Anderson. John Elway's just as happy as the receivers when they make a catch like that. That goes on the passing yardage statistic. John Elway's a team player, though. He's concerned about scoring touchdowns, and they're doing it today.
And for Elway, third touchdown throw of the afternoon. He's 12 of 21 overall, 208 yards. So the Broncos with a 24-7 lead on the Chiefs with 46 seconds remaining in the first half.
Final look at it. Full extension. You're catching that one not with your hands, but with your fingertips and pulling that one in. Big play right before the half.
By Vanover is the lead man. The kick by Elam. And here comes Vanover. Across the 15. And again, the good coverage by the Broncos, and they are enjoying the moments. 18-yard return. Darius Johnson, one of several to celebrate. He is a special teams standout. Rookie from Oklahoma, fourth-round draft pick. There he is, number 25.
Every team has 4 or 5 players that are special teams players. They're involved in all the cover teams, and when they make a play, they get excited because they don't have as many opportunities as an offensive or defensive regular.
Well, Kansas City, with 6 possessions, they've picked up just 4 first downs. And they start out with only 41 seconds remaining in the half. Bono to the sideline and is able to complete to Vanover. Covered by Crockett. Second catch by Tamarick Vanover. And the clock is stopped with 37
on this throw or the next one either.
And you certainly have to wonder about Kansas City as it comes from behind team. Here's the play action. And it's completed to Chris Penn out at midfield. Met by it remains. I don't think that's a political stand on the part of the other fellows. I think
we want to know who this guy is, right? Yeah. Does he belong up there or not?
They're not trying to make a statement. They're hustling to get down to the locker room, and there'll certainly be plenty to discuss at halftime with Denver up 24-7. Bono looked deep, did not have anyone, and goes shorter range to the tight end. Chappelle to the left. Vanover in the slot, now in motion. And it is dropped. Should have been
getting it down into field goal range in a hurry.
3rd and 2 at the Denver 42. 20 seconds to go in the half. And that is not what Steve Bono had in mind. He tripped, lost his balance. Anders in motion. And it is incomplete. Intended for Joe Horn, coming over the middle and covered by Ray Crockett.
Now let's see what Denver does. They've got good field position, a chance to take a shot down the field with 12 seconds to go, and they still have a timeout left, so they can really throw the ball anywhere.
Way out of the shotgun. Getting the protection, but it is batted down. Keith Traylor got a however. Apparently, a different thought from Mike Shanahan going the statistics, and the stats in this case tell the story.
Doesn't take much of a long look to see who's winning and dominating here in almost every category except time of possession.
Pete Stoyanovich will kick it off. Reaches out across the 25-yard line. 22-yard return by Hebron. Well, Steve Bono, 11 of 21, 120 yards. And that actually looks better than what took place because he got nothing accomplished in the first half. Elway, 12 for 22, 208 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception.
The numbers by Steve Bono are really not good because they only had a 6-play drive. That was their longest drive the whole first half, 6 plays.
1st and 10 from the 28-yard line. Off the roll. Elway's pass off the mark, intended for the fullback, Aaron Craver. Pressure from Neil Smith. Well, Kansas City, in terms of their average drive start, starting out at the 23-yard line, which is not good. Denver with terrific field position right throughout that first half.
Those are hidden numbers right there. That's 17-yard difference. That's almost 2 first downs of work between them.
2nd down and 10. And Davis, in taking the handoff, lost his balance and was met by Phillips and Suliamua. So Terrell Davis has not been able to get going. 12 carries, 35 yards. That's the one positive for the Kansas City defense. They have held him in check.
They have a lot of admiration for him, and you know that was the guy they thought coming in that they had to stop. This is the down, though, that Kansas City needs to do something different. All the receivers are out of the backfield. John Elway's the only one back there. It looks as if Kansas City's only going to bring 4 again.
3rd and 13. Again, Elway spotting the opening, and once again he has a 1st down.
Mar, the problem with that is if those 4 guys are getting there and containing John Elway, good, because you've got plenty of defenders down the field. But they're not getting there, and when they do give him a little pressure, they're not containing him. He's able to make the run. That was man-to-man coverage down the field. So you, as a quarterback scrambling, nobody is reacting back to your run because they're chasing their man-to-man. They're looking at the receiver.
Elway looking very spry. Picked up another 15. 5 rushes, 48 yards. 1st down at the Denver 42. We're just underway in the 3rd quarter. Off the roll, and again sees the room, and this time is tackled, hit from behind by John Browning, and the crowd does not like to see the starting quarterback take a hit.
He didn't go out of bounds deliberately. He didn't step out to let everybody know he was going. He was trying to get that extra yard. You can't blame Browning for making the tackle right there. I was glad to see everybody keep their calm on the sideline. As he is running down the sideline, Browning can't just let him run. He's got to go out. Initial contact well inbounds. But after that play, of course, they finished well out of bounds. There was a little bit of a rush to the spot. You could see the sideline moving towards the tackle. And everybody calmed down a little bit and realized that was part of the football game.
And a Kansas City player shaken up, Keith Traylor. There he is, number 94. One-time Denver Bronco, spent 2 years with the Broncos, a year with Green Bay. This is 2nd season with Kansas City, a 3rd-round draft pick of the Broncos back in 1991.
Let's go back to the last play and a broad view of the defense. Watch these defenders as they cover their receiver. And right here, the same thing. Everybody is man-to-man as they go up the field. See him turn right there. There's nothing out here but green grass, and John Elway, as he runs down the sideline, being tackled inbounds, perfectly legal, clean shot.
Well, Keith Traylor being escorted back to the Kansas City sideline. How about John Elway? 14 more a moment ago. He's the leading rusher for the Denver Broncos. 6 carries, 62 yards. Might hit the century mark.
Kansas City's giving him the run. He's made most of those runs on the scramble on 3rd down with 4 wide receivers, 5 wide receivers really out.
And Denver 1st down at the Kansas City 43-yard line. They'd love to get Davis going, but once again he is stopped right at the line. Joe Phillips making the tackle. Well, coming into today, Denver averaging 166 yards on the ground. But even though they're well below that pace today, that really doesn't mean anything because John Elway's been throwing the ball so well. He is connected for 3 touchdown passes, including a 46-yarder to Shannon Sharpe. 2 to Sharpe, 1 to Mike Sherrod, catching his first TD as a Bronco. And that's not handled by Miller. Anthony Miller, the intended receiver, covered by James Hasty. Well, Dallas now leads Miami in the third quarter, 16-10. Seattle maintaining its lead on San Diego. San Diego comes in at 4-2, and the Jets looking for their first win of the season. Again, 7 defensive backs being utilized by the Chiefs. Third down and 9 at the 42-yard line. 3 minutes gone by in the third. Elway able to stand in and then fires, but it goes over the head of Miller, who was well covered by Carter.
The ball was really uncatchable. There was some contact down the field, but the ball being uncatchable, no flags were thrown. Martin Bayless is really the 7th defensive back, but he's part linebacker and part defensive back. Really nobody there unless he were to throw it out into the flat shore. But he went down the field, uncatchable. Kansas City finally stops this Denver offense.
And Tamarick Vanover is back, awaiting the punt from Tom Ruin. Ruin back at his 43-yard line. And a delay of game against the Broncos.
Really means nothing because all those shots as punters.
And this one is lifted high. Vanover lets it go, and it carries to the end zone. They'll bring it out to the 20-yard line. 47-yard punt. So Kansas City gets it back. 12:02 left, third quarter. Welcome back to Mile High in Denver. Broncos 24, Chiefs 7. 3 minutes in. Third quarter, you see the movement. Bono firing one intended for Penn. Alfred Williams. It is a 1st and 5 at the 25. Play action, and Bono is taken down. First sack of the game for either team. Alfred Williams. 8.5 for the season. And number 27 for the Denver Broncos.
Long and rangy, comes up the field. Once you get around the corner as a pass rusher, this time he dips back inside to get to the quarterback. But once you come up that field and you get those big tackles moving fast, they're too big to change direction with a quicker defensive lineman.
Coming into today, Denver on top of the NFL with most sacks tied with Carolina. Penalty marker down again. Completed to Vanover, and he's tackled across the 20 by Crockett. Crockett able to follow him across the field. It is a 7-yard advance. Third catch of the game for Vanover.
Alan Aldridge rushing right straight up the middle. Denver is doing a lot of different things defensively, trying to give them problems. Just a scrape off. The inside receiver goes up the field. Vanover comes back underneath him on a short, called a shallow cross. Still third down and long.
Bono on a short set. It is incomplete. Vanover looking for pass interference. He felt that his arms were being held by Romanowski, but no flag.
His arms were being held after the ball got there. Perfectly legal coverage. Denver showing blitz, trying to get the Kansas City offensive line as well as backs to stay in there and not release too quickly. Romanowski has been a big shot in the arm for this Denver ball club.
That was if it could be categorized as a clean drop, no question. And Aguiar with the punt to Smith, who has had a superb day. And Smith is taken down at the 34 and a flag tossed. Wide open, Shannon Sharp able to ride off that tackle, pick up a couple of more. Tracy Simeon on the stop, 5 catches for Sharp. This one for 20, so 5 catches, 91 yards for the day.
Shannon Sharp has normally been lined up as a wide receiver. This time as a true tight end, lined up next to that tackle, running the shell across, not going down on that first hit. About 6 or 7 extra yards on the run.
Broncos first down at their 43-yard line. 9.5 left in the third. Davis again trying to pick his way, but could not. The leading rusher for the Broncos is John Elway. 7 carries, 63 yards. That is a new single-game career high for Elway. Not bad for a guy who's 35 years old. His previous career high rushing yards in a single game, 52. So John Elway has done it in several categories, throwing for 3 touchdowns. He has run for a career high 63 yards. Second down and 9 at the 44. 84 sharp in motion. Again, Elway got the time, and that looked to be a miscommunication. Or did he throw it away?
I think he wanted Sharp to go out and then up, and he got held up as he started his out move towards the sideline. Sharp in motion. Goes back to the outside. Then as he turns up the field, he collides with the defensive back. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. Collins was there first. He has a right to stand there. If he had approached him and tried to go out of his way to cut him off, that would have been a penalty.
Third and 9. The Chiefs continue to go with the 7 defensive backs. Minimal rush as a result. Elway, the only man in the backfield working out of the shotgun, and has been able to stand back and pick out receivers. Can't find anyone, and now does. The sideline pass is ruled incomplete. It was caught out of bounds by Sherrod.
One of those instances where there were 2 or 3 open receivers. There were maybe too many of them, and he just couldn't find him because he was avoiding the rush that time. Still a 4-man rush, but we do have a flag on the field.
That is 29. Mark Vanover is back.
Come on, Reggie.
And a short punt.
Get away, baby.
So it takes a Kansas City bounce. A 34-yard punt. First and 10 from their 22-yard line. 8.5 remaining in the third quarter. And the Denver Broncos with a 24-7 lead. Now the Chiefs won the earlier meeting at Arrowhead back on the 22nd of September. They won the last 3 against Denver. As you take a look at what has taken place, and the statistics make it very clear-cut. It's been all Denver here today. Kansas City has also won 6 of the last 8 games against the Broncos. And they won the last 2 here at Mile High, but certainly a different story right throughout the afternoon. Marcus Allen comes up on the wing, and Bono after the pump, and again just couldn't find anyone. Terrific coverage, and then a big hit made. Braxton and Mobley making the contact with Cash, and a flag is thrown.
Coverage sack to be, but Steve Bono bought the time to avoid that part of it. Nobody could get open. He pumped the...
Telling us last night there's no intimidation. He feels no one in the NFL can be intimidated. Do you buy that?
I don't think anybody can be intimidated. Sometimes you can cause them to get out of their game plan, though. You can cause them to lose their attention on the game by getting angry at something you're doing. That's not true intimidation. If that was the block that they call right there, that was a high-low block that they're trying to cut out. I thought probably in the scramble he reached out and came back and cut somebody low, but that block was the old chop block inside.
Dale Carter on the offensive end for the first time, and Bono's pass incomplete, intended for the tight end Reggie Johnson, covered by the outside linebacker Bill Romanowski. But Dale Carter flanked out to the right side, so being used offensively for the first time. Marty Schottenheimer telling us Dale might get 5 or 6 plays.
During the practice week, he just practices his defense and goes over on a few snaps with the offensive side. He says they just call it Dale right, Dale left. Call his name out, tell him what to do, and he moves on the ball.
He says these days, though, they've been calling him a decoy. 2nd and 22. Bennett stopped by Romanowski. And a Denver Bronco is down. Lionel Washington shaken up, slow to get up.
This is how that injury happened. Dale Carter is a wide receiver coming down the field. Now, this is a running play. It's a draw. It looks like a pass, and then it's a run. There's the chop block right at the knee, and that's what all the controversy is about right now. This is not an illegal block. The only time that is considered an illegal block if the person being blocked is obviously, quote, obviously out of the play. Well, how can you tell when a player is obviously out of the play?
The Broncos are very upset. Several Bronco players over to the Kansas City sideline screaming at Kansas City Chiefs.
Watch Carter's reaction on the sideline. Now, he's just made a block. He's back to his sideline, and here come the Denver Broncos to come over to express themselves, and he's not backing down. Not good for the game, that part of it. Tough football is good, and that was legal. That's the kind of thing, though, that may be discussed at competition committee meetings this offseason. These kind of trims stimulate that conversation.
3rd and 18 from the 14. Bono completes to Penn, spinning his way, has the first down, and now gang tackled, and things may be getting out of hand now.
It's getting physical now beyond the normal toughness of the game. Anytime a receiver catches a ball, you try to stand him up so the next tackler can come in and take the ball away. And we're seeing blockers all the way down the field. That time, Tim Gunhard was all the way down the field to center. Back to the inside, just turns in. Zone defense. Now watch, they stand him up. They're holding him up. Here come their tacklers trying to get to the ball. Now right there, that's the offensive center right here, all the way down the field.
19-yard advance, 3rd catch for Penn, first down at the 34-yard line. 7 minutes to go, 3rd quarter. And Cash making the catch short of the first down, met by the strong safety, Tyrone Braxton, for Keith Cash, his 3rd reception of the day.
Steve Bono's done a good job of reading what's happening to him on defense. That time they just vacated the middle of the field, and Keith Cash looked in on what's called a looky pass. As he releases, if nobody's in his way, turn back and look for the ball.
I know Washington, who was hurt a moment ago, is back on the field. 36-year-old, 14-year veteran, Lionel Washington. Oh, here is a flea flicker. And Bono throwing deep downfield. It is broken up. Vanover not able to hold on. Covered by Crockett.
Ray Crockett makes the classic defensive play. He's Vanover is way behind Crockett initially as the flea flicker starts. Ray Crockett makes up the time, not able to catch Vanover. Look how far he's beaten. He's going to reach right up. When Vanover reaches, Crockett reaches. There's the handoff. His head never turned back, but he never interfered with Vanover's effort to make the catch. Good defense.
Nice recovery by Ray Crockett. Marcus Allen. And he's driven back. Stopped at the line. And a flag is thrown. And this has become heated in the 3rd quarter.
It's ugly right there. Reggie Johnson, the tight end, the second tight end, was down the field.
Unnecessary roughness on number 91. Defense. 15-yard penalty. First down.
It's Alfred Williams. They started to say that Ray Crockett was being blocked down the field by Reggie Johnson with another cut block way down the field. The penalty happened, though, up around the ball. Alfred Williams, number 91. They did not make the first down. Now the penalty happens just after this action right here. Right here. Too much going on after that whistle.
It is a 1st and 10 off the penalty at the Denver 42-yard line. Just under 6 minutes to go, 3rd quarter. Bono completing. The tight end, Reggie Johnson, with another Kansas City first down. Alan Aldrich, Tyrone Braxton combined to make the tackle. Pickup of 19 on that play.
Zone defense. Protection holds up. Steps up into the pocket. Reggie Johnson, who was on the last play a cut blocker deep down the field, this time runs across the field for the big game.
This the best sustained drive by the Chiefs, who have been silent. Their only score on a 97-yard kick return by Vanover. Bono with the long look and has to go short range. Flag is thrown as Kimball Anders works his way. And 20 at the 31. Bono off the roll. It is dropped by Vanover. He has been the #1 target this afternoon.
And that was Alfred Williams that hit him, and he's down. He had injured ribs earlier in the season.
Yes, he missed a couple of games with cracked ribs. He's had other injuries in recent weeks.
We stand over right there on a crossing pattern. Bono's out of the pocket. Alfred Williams.
Well, the initial hit by Mobley, then Williams came on, and will take a break with just under 5.
Vanover's walking off the field, and he doesn't look hurt too bad, but Alfred Williams now 6'6", 265 pounds, a down lineman, looks like a linebacker in his drop. They pull him off the line, coming back inside. Vanover's coming right at him, never sees Alfred Williams though. Alfred coming back home, played here at Colorado.
And Tamarick Vanover trying to work it off. It is a 2nd and 20 at the 31. Ninth play of this drive coming up, a drive that was kept alive by a 15-yard Denver penalty for unnecessary roughness. 4:59 to go in the 3rd quarter, and the Broncos lead the Chiefs 24-7. Bono looked like it was deflected. It was, and picked off. Ray Crockett with the interception, but a penalty flag is down.
Play, no play. Prior to the snap, we had a false start. Number 66 offense, no play. 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Ray Sigler, the right tackle, moved prior to the snap. As soon as he moves, as soon as he picks up his hand out of that 3-point stance, the play is dead. Even though the whistle can't be heard, Ricky Sigler is at right tackle right here. He moved early on the snap. They had the wave going, Dan Marv, and the noise was very, very loud. The offensive tackles, of course, are the farthest from the snap count, from the quarterback yelling the snap count. And we have an official down on the field.
Yeah, it's been a tough day. That's Don Hicks, the field judge.
And he is not happy about something.
Looked like he didn't want any of his...
No. He really was
friends
just
to help up.
He just fell. He was in the open field, and they came over to help him, and he was very upset about that.
It is a 2nd and 25 at the Denver 36-yard line. Bono, I don't know if he flipped it or lost control.
It was an underhand forward pass. You could throw the ball overhand or underhand as long as it's going forward. It's not a fumble.
Apparently trying to flip it to Danelle Bennett. Not a pretty looking sequence. Here is another look at it.
As he drives straight back, now he's going to move up into the pocket, finding nobody open. He just tries to get rid of the ball, just shovels it out. One more look at it, coming straight at you. That's a legal forward pass, incomplete.
And now Dale Carter back on the field. He's flanked top of your screen to the right side for this 3rd down and 25. Bono goes the other way and completes, but well short of a 1st down. Reggie Johnson making the catch. Steve Atwater with the tackle.
Down 24-7, you go for it. You go for some points here. Now, they may decide to go for the field goal, but you go for some points. Field goal team coming on.
Well, it's a 4th and 20 at the 31-yard line, and this will be a 48-yard attempt for Pete Stoyanovich.
I guarantee you Denver is looking for the fake as well.
Stoyanovich 10 of 13 for the season. Aguiar will hold and make it a 49-yard attempt And apparently trying to draw Denver offside.
Wow.
They take a delay of game.
Go for the 7-pointer or the field goal.
And this now a 54-yard attempt. The angle to the right.
He misses. Great field position for Denver as a result.
From 54 yards out, no good.
And Denver's going to get the ball in very good shape.
3:47 left, third quarter.
Kick. It is, but it wouldn't have given them this field position, and it's 5 yards easier.
By 1st and 10 from the 44. Elway rifles downfield. Anthony Miller caught from behind down at the 15 by Mark Collins. 41-yard pass play. So on 1st down, they go to the big play.
Okay, Anthony, you're running more balls thrown your way. You're getting them, and you're making them pay off, too. Denver going for more. They have their empty backfield again. Nobody back here but John Elway. Right down the middle, they have 2 safeties on defense. Kansas City's done it the entire day. Well, the hole, obviously, is in the middle between the 2 safeties. That's where Anthony Miller found himself.
Third catch, 87 yards in all. And a 1st down at the Kansas City 15. 3 minutes to go in the third quarter. Elway able to find Sharp. Stiff arms his way, and a penalty flag is thrown. Brian Washington and James Hasty getting involved with Shannon Sharp.
Very close call there, but the officials are getting tougher as a result of some of the earlier encounters.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, late hit out of bounds. Number 29 defense. Half the distance to the goal. 1st down.
Well, that's Brian Washington called for the late hit out of bounds.
Washington, number 29. Play is over. Really right on the sideline, but things are getting a little testy out there, and the officials are going to keep this under control the way they should. Nobody going to be injured on a play like that. It's just the intent. And I tell you what you're seeing on this drive right here. After the chipping down the field, the cutting down the field, Denver coming right back, not getting conservative, eating up the clock. They're going after more points. Could be a result of some of the tension.
1st and goal down at the 4. McCaffrey in motion. And the hole opens up for Craver, who is short of the goal line, covered up by Brian Washington. You make an interesting point. What you're saying is they're going, not that they would not go look to score, but could you see Denver being upset enough with Kansas City to try to run up the score?
No, this is not running up the score. It's in the third quarter, but going into almost a 2-minute situation type of an offense, as opposed to just grinding it out, getting this game over with. You've got the lead.
And here is Craver, touchdown. Aaron Craver with his 2nd touchdown of the season, the previous one as a pass receiver. And the Denver Broncos add 6 more, and they are now up 30-7.
Just up and over the top. In training camp, they practice this by piling all the dummies right here, letting the running backs jump over the pile and land on the dummies. All he has to do is clear the plane of the goal line. Touchdown.
Jason Elam adding the extra point. 2:09 remaining. Third quarter. It is 31-7. Denver. Sam, as we take a look at the replay, I'm not sure I follow. You say they're not running up the score, but they go to a 2-minute offense at this stage in the third quarter.
Well, when I say they're not running up the score, there's too much time left to be saying that's enough scoring. So you're not running up the score. But it's human nature. You're a football player down there. Your players, you feel, have been attacked down the field with the cut blocks. You get together on that sideline and say, let's go get them, guys. Let's go out there and get some more points and make them pay for
I can
the intimidation factor.
Oh, I absolutely can understand it, but we may have, you mentioned things getting testy. We could see more extracurricular activity here in the fourth quarter.
I think so. You're not going to see the Kansas City Chiefs give in right here. I'll tell you, not under Marty Schottenheimer, they're not. So there's going to be a quarter and 2:09 of tough football left. 31-7 is not the end of the game. You can get back in a game like this. You need a couple of quick scores, though. Really what you need is a couple of quick scores and a turnover or two. So that means that when Kansas City's on defense, they're going to be going after the ball, trying to strip it loose.
A couple of quick scores, a turnover, and someone up above looking very charitably
Okay, maybe I was
at Kansas City. All right, Jerome Woods is back deep now. Vanover shaken up. So Woods, the rookie from Memphis, who was returning kicks for most of the season, is back. It's picked up, though, by one of the upmen, Todd McNair. And McNair able to run it across the 30-yard line, a 16-yard return. A reminder tonight on Dateline. Kansas City Chiefs, 1st and 10 at the 31. Danon Hughes is to the right, and Chris Penn at the bottom of your screen to the left. And Bono's pass incomplete, intended for Anders, covered by Romanowski.
Kansas City into their 2-minute type offense. They've got a tight end in the game. They keep a running back in the backfield, but 3 wide receivers. Marcus Allen has been pretty much taken out of this ball game because of the come-from-behind nature of it from Kansas City's standpoint.
And Marcus not able to get anything going. 7 carries, 20 yards. On the sideline at this moment, 2nd down and 10. Play action. Looks like Bono slipped. McNair for a couple yards. This has been the pattern for Kansas City. They had that one sustained drive that concluded on the field goal attempt by Stoyanovich from 54 yards out. And they are in the hurry-up now with 1:35 to go in this 3rd quarter. 3rd and 8. And that is thrown a bit too hard for Reggie Johnson and perhaps slightly behind him.
You know, in the first ball game, Kansas City was 50% on 3rd down. And that is tremendous percentage. I don't know what it is right now, but it is not very good. This is the 5th time they've been 3 and out, though, in this half.
And Louis Aguiar will punt for the 7th time. Ron Smith is back. It's a tough catch by Smith, who was immediately tackled, and the flag comes flying. Joe Horn was all over Ron Smith, who was in traffic, yet able to make the catch. He's had just an excellent day. Rod Smith back returning punts for the first time this season. And out with a broken collarbone, made his return last week as a wide receiver, replacing Todd Kinchin, who was inactive today.
Smith was the punt returner in training camp. He was their #1 guy. And then when the injury occurred to his collarbone, Todd Kitchen came in and took over and did a good job, except for the fumbles. He was catching the ball well and making nice runbacks.
Have recovered all but one of those fumbles, but it was a bit too much of an adventure for Mike Shanahan.
Well, it had not cost them a game, but Mike Shanahan wanted to make sure that he corrected the problem before it did.
Well, the official
Full opportunity to make the catch. 15-yard penalty from the spot of the catch.
Oh, that was called on Horn. It's amazing.
His concentration is totally on the ball. You've got to give the punt returner an opportunity to catch. The ball actually gets in there. Some of the terms are a little tough. You know, it's all judgment by the official. Does he have an opportunity? Even if he makes the catch, you still may not have given him a fair opportunity to do so.
The Broncos will start this drive at their 28-yard line. In what has been a very long game, particularly for modeled up once again. Next Saturday, 5 o'clock at the 28-yard line. 31-7. Denver leading Kansas City as this
Football, but let me tell you, they listened to that quarterback.
Well, 2 penalties the last 3 plays. 2nd down and 5 at the 33-yard line.
Lines up in that 5-receiver set, coming on the slant play. All the receivers turn to the inside, and what you're looking for is the first guy that finds a hole between linebackers.
And a 1st down. Gary Kubiak, offensive coordinator. One time and a long time backup quarterback here in Denver.
Don't knock backup quarterback.
Why do you think I knocked him? I just said the word backup.
You were inhaling like you were going.
Terrell Davis breaking one for the first time today. Run out by Mark Collins. 25-yard run by Davis.
You knew it was going to happen eventually. They have been feeding him the ball off the left side. Now just man blocking. Every blocker has a defender on him. 1, 2, 3. Everybody's got him squared up. Now Terrell Davis just picks the hole. He stretches it, gets everything wide. They're not trying to knock people backwards. They're trying to stretch it so there are gaps between the tacklers. And Terrell Davis finds the widest one and runs on up the field.
And makes the stat line look a bit more impressive with that run. 1st and 10 at the 32-yard line. And again, it's Davis. And again, he finds the hole. Has terrific instincts, although Kansas City's done a good job on him. Anthony Davis made the stop. There's been so much written on the national scene about Davis, who's been bothered by migraine headaches, severe migraines, and was telling us the other day he's received all kinds of bizarre remedies. Some of the suggestions: magnets should be placed on his eyelid.
They always work with me.
Yeah, something that you could go for. Hot tea bags placed on his head.
I did that this morning.
Several others that we cannot mention.
Stay above the net, would you?
2nd down and 4 at the 26-yard line, and Fravor with a rare opportunity to carry the football. Neil Smith made the stop. That's only the 2nd time that Fravor has run with it. The other time he was able to take it in from a yard out for a touchdown.
You can feel the tempo of the offense for Denver slowing down just a little bit. They aren't trying to kill the clock necessarily. They just want to use all of the 40 seconds right now. You eliminate maybe 3 or 4 plays over the course of a quarter. With the lead, you want to just finish this game off that way.
7th play of the drive. 3rd and 3 at the Chiefs 25. Davis flashing his way for the 1st down.
John Elway snapped the ball with 2 seconds left. Gave the ball to the NFL's leading rusher off the left side in the same blocking scheme. Everybody match up on the man in front of you, widen the holes, and let Terrell Davis find the widest void and cut up the field. Here he comes. There it is. Breaks through. You know, he is such a, we keep saying he's got instincts. He's also got balance, and he doesn't concede the tackle. You've got to take him down. Rarely does one man take him down.
1st down at the 20. 11:45 remaining, 4th quarter. And it's Davis finding holes and now running the way the KC Chiefs saw him in that earlier meeting in Arrowhead.
Same play. Joe Phillips looks like Habib, down on the field for Denver. That was the same play. They just repeated the last one.
Right guard Brian Habib being checked over, and we'll take this time out. Starting right guard Brian Habib now over at the sideline, replaced by David Diaz-Infante. Denver's offensive line once again today has been outstanding. Gary Zimmerman, Mark Schlereth on the left side, the center Tom Nalen. On the right side, Brian Habib and Roderick Thompson. They have played so well. 2nd and 4 at the 14-yard line. Elway off the play fake comes sliding.
Busted play. Terrell Davis went the wrong way. Looked like it was a counter play for the action of the quarterback. Best thing for a quarterback to do if the running back goes the wrong way, and he wants him to go this way eventually, a sidestep and come back. He doesn't come back. So the best thing to do is run where the blocking is taking place. And he's got enough room. The next best thing is don't get hit.
Lost the yard. 3rd down and 5 at the 15. Does Mike Shanahan say next series begin to think maybe I should get Elway out of there, bring on Bill Musgrave? All right, here's Davis, able to break a tackle. Stiff arms, breaks another.
If Mike Shanahan hasn't already said it, one of the other coaches I am sure has brought the subject up, because the score, especially if they score right here, not only to prevent a possible injury to John Elway, but to give some experience to the backup quarterback.
It is a 4th down and 1. And Terrell Davis took a shot, looking a little dazed as he heads to the Denver sideline.
You know, we might see the same thing. Not only John Elway being so important to that offense, Terrell Davis is awfully important to that offense as well. Just a good, clean shot, helmet to helmet, though, and you wake up wondering what city you're in.
Hard hit by Brian Washington. So the number is on Davis, 21 carries, 76 yards. When we resume, a 4th and 1. 10 minutes, 19:48. And he is 8 for 11 for the season. Make it 9-12. Broncos 34, Chiefs 7. You're watching the NFL on NBC. They have handled the Kansas City Chiefs with ease. They now lead it 34-7. The kick return by Jerome Woods. And he submarined across the 25-yard line, a 24-yard return. Well, next week, the NFL on NBC will feature doubleheader action. The Sandy and Hughes, covered by Darius Johnson.
This has been a game of Kansas City not making plays, and there's the final. Dallas over Miami. But this is a game where Kansas City has just not made a big play. The game plans can't be that much different than the first time they played, a 17-14 3-point difference. And they come out here, and it looks like Denver is far superior today to Kansas City.
And Denver got it going early with that 46-yard touchdown pass Elway to Sharp. Pass intended for Penn was covered again by Johnson. So they're going right at the rookie from Oklahoma, the 4th-round draft pick, Darius Johnson.
But you've got to execute. Here's that matchup right here. Just an inside pattern. Freezes back to the inside, and the ball is thrown so far behind. That looked like a training camp throw. One of those when you're trying to get your timing down, and you know you're going to be off the mark about half the time. That one was way off the mark.
3rd and 10 at the 27-yard line. Well, the word on Terrell Davis, who took a pretty good shot on that last series. He is okay, but will not return because this game is out of hand. But we will step aside, and Sam Comedies, Third Rock from the Sun, followed by Boston Common, plus the world premiere of The Secret She Carried. Viewers on the West Coast will see these shows at their regularly scheduled time. The pass intended for Joe Horn. 9:34 remaining in this 4th quarter. And a 4th and 10, leading to Louis Aguilar earning his money today, as is Rod Smith, who is back deep at the 25-yard line. So for the 6th time, Kansas City has gone 3 and out. Aguilar angling, Smith with the return. And he's taken down at the 34-yard line, 43-yard punt, and a 4-yard return. And let's see how the Broncos handle it.
Kansas City has another injury, another player down.
That's the tight end, Reggie Johnson.
You know, coming into this ball game, both teams were as healthy as they have been. First time this past Thursday that all of the Kansas City players actually practiced. Denver may be the healthiest team in the National Football League, but there have been injuries today.
And there will be a quarterback change. Bill Musgrave takes over from John Elway. Bill Musgrave in his 5th season out of Oregon, spent 4 years with the 49ers. This is 2nd year with Denver. He appeared in 3 games last year. Brief stints, leading 8 of 12 passes. So the final numbers on Elway, 16 of 31. He does fall short of 300 for what that means, because he had another excellent day. 286 yards. He had 3 straight games of 300 or more. 3 touchdowns and intercepted once, and also ran for a career-high 62 yards.
He did what they pay him to do, and that's win football games. 23 first downs while he was in that ball game against 8 for Kansas City.
The tight end Reggie Johnson still down on the field. He's had a tough year. He's been hurting. Johnson suffered a sprained right knee. Was able to walk off without any help, but he will not return. And the new quarterback for the Denver Broncos, Bill Musgrave, who has thrown just one pass this season, 0 for 1, coming in, and he's taken over for John Elway.
The 49ers really thought a lot of him. Thought he might be the guy to take over that job as a starter. Neil Dowling, who was player personnel with the 49ers, is now player personnel director for the Broncos. That's how Bill Musgrave arrived here.
And he starts from the 34-yard line, going to Vaughn Hebron. So Terrell Davis also threw for the day after taking a hard hit from Lionel Washington. Terrell Davis with that one good run and ended up with 76 yards on 21 carries. Second down and 9 at the 35-yard line. Bill Musgrave, a native of Grand Junction, Colorado. He is the backup behind John Elway. Jeff Lewis is the third string, the emergency quarterback, and that pass is intercepted. So Musgrave, throwing only his second pass of the season, is picked off by the strong safety, Brian Washington. A very nice one-handed reception by Washington, and that's his first intercept of the season.
Bill Musgrave broke a cardinal rule. You never roll out of the pocket and throw back to the middle. Too many people are following and falling under the throw. You can't see them all because they're running sideways. They're not running in the traditional drops. Ball is thrown back across the middle.
First down at the 34-yard line. Bono, it is dropped. Dropped by Kimball Anders. There have been a number of Kansas City drops.
I don't want to pay too many compliments on a team playing this way, but this is a better football team than we're seeing today. They are not doing anything right on this field this afternoon, though.
Oh, it's been an awful performance by the Chiefs, and we're told that is their fourth drop pass. Denver will make it 7-1. This is the best start since 1989, while the Chiefs will fall to 5-3. Bono trying to get it away to avoid the sack. Dan Williams putting the pressure on. It was intended for Todd McNair. Looking ahead for both Denver and Kansas City. Difficult schedule for the Broncos following today. They play 5 of their last 8 games on the road. Next week at Oakland, a Monday night game. Then home for Chicago, followed by games at New England, at Minnesota, and then Seattle and Green Bay. Kansas City in the midst of also a tough go. Next week they play at Minnesota, then home for Green Bay, Chicago, and San Diego. A hard throw by Bono, and this time it is held on by Joe Horn. Darius Johnson made the stop. So Kansas City at Minnesota next week. And then home games against Green Bay, Chicago, and San Diego. They play at Detroit and then at Oakland. It is a fourth and about a yard. And Bono picks up the first down and some more inside the 20, combining with Sean LaChapelle. Atwater and James combined to make the stop.
You know, looking at that schedule for both teams, it's tough for both teams. That's why this game was so important to win.
And the Chiefs in the hurry-up, 7.5 remaining in the fourth quarter. And Bono able to complete once again to LaChapelle.
Denver will have a 2-game lead after this game over Kansas City. And, you know, the AFC West is a tough division anyway. The Raiders are certainly not out of it. San Diego. Seattle is going to be chasing, but this 2-game spread right here, too early to say it's the difference, but it means that Kansas City is in a dead chase from here on out.
Denver will go 7-1. Kansas City 5-3 for that 2-game lead. Denver's only loss earlier this season in Kansas City. Bono couldn't find anyone. And now throws for the end zone off the mark. Intended for the tight end, Keith Cash, covered by Steve Atwater.
When he had him open, too, and he did a good job buying time. Protection held up long enough for him to work somebody open down the field. But this is the way Kansas City's day has gone. They can do enough right to get in position to make a play, and then they can't finish it off. At least they haven't finished it off today. This is how much he missed on that throw. That's not even close.
Third and 1. Down at the 10. Bono throwing end zone. And again, it goes astray, but a penalty flag is down. Ray Crockett providing the coverage on Joe Horn.
Prior to the end of the ball game. The smart thing to do, though, really is to do that. Cut down on your injuries. Start out the next time. You're not going to win this ball game, do you?
And Bono's passed off the mark. Sam, you're treating this question like that could really happen. What are you talking about?
But I'm maybe running for office someday, and I need to play the middle of the fence there.
But we still have 6:56 remaining.
I mean, if you're standing up here in the booth like we are, you probably run this thing out, and you get off the field, you get on back, and you regroup. But I don't think Marty Schottenheimer is going to send the message to the team that he concedes this game ever, no matter what the score, until that whistle blows at the end.
And obviously he's looking ahead to try and work some plays as he looks down the road for other opportunities. He's able to look at some players like Joe Horn has been getting an opportunity, and that pass incomplete once again. Anders, the intended receiver.
Well, you look at some players, but that's not the reason they're in the game. You're putting them in the game to get your front line players out of the game. Cut down their exposure to injury. You're going to need them next week when the score is 0-0 at kickoff time.
It is a 3rd and 5. And Marcus Allen will continue the chase of Walter Payton and will eventually surpass him in terms of most prolific touchdown runner of all time, one shy of tying Payton for rushing TDs. Bono to the end zone. It is intercepted. And the Kansas City drive is stopped by Ray Crockett, who comes up with his first interception of the season.
Now Denver will help in that decision that you wanted me to make for Martin Schottenheimer, because they're going to run some time off this clock in this series. You can look at just the body language of the players as they leave the field. The Kansas City players, helmets in hand, heads bowed. Very tough day for them. Here's the play. A scramble again to the right. Finds some more time. Threw this one into coverage. Ray Crockett. Don't run it out. Take a knee. There you go.
So they bring it out to the 20. The numbers on Bono, 20 of 46, 204 yards, and he was picked off twice. Now the handoff to Hebron. Out across the 25-yard line, stopped by Dale Carter. You know, you look at these two clubs, and they're actually contrasting philosophies in terms of the way the two coaches approach practice during the course of the week.
Marty Schottenheimer, more of the old school on Wednesday and Thursday, the two hard days. A lot of hitting, just like a game situation. Mike Shanahan, on the other hand, only puts the pads on for 45 minutes on Thursday. There's no pads on Wednesday and no pads the rest of the practice on Thursday or Friday. Full speed practices, but no hitting.
Hebron again. And has the first down. Neil Smith making the stop. Along with Donnie Edwards. Mike Shanahan has done a terrific job in helping to turn things around here in Denver in his second year as head coach of the Broncos. Second of a 7-year contract, which is most unusual. He had been the Broncos offensive coordinator in the past. Most recently, offensive coordinator for San Francisco, and had that brief and unhappy run as the head coach of the Raiders. First down at the 31. Again, Musgrave hands it off, and they had a problem. It was fumbled and recovered by Kansas City. Vaughn Booker on the ball off the mix-up between Hebron and Musgrave.
I don't think Vaughn Hebron ever had the ball this time. Straight handoff. Puts the ball high. You see it's up the upper part of the numbers. The ball's got to go into the belly. The receiver, the running back is going to take the ball down low. When you put it up high, it hits the shoulder pads, which come down about halfway down your chest cavity there, bounces right off. You know, we're talking about the practice schedule. The 49ers practice that way. They don't hit during the season. And, of course, Mike Shanahan came through that system, too.
And Bono going incomplete. Intended for Kimball Anders.
Ball was tipped.
And there's the president of the Denver Broncos, Pat Bowlen, and who gave Mike Shanahan the 7-year deal.
Pat Bowlen has certainly done everything he can to support the coaches here, going right to the cap, paying players to be on that football field. In like so many cities, as Bono's pass is knocked away by Carter. But like in so many cities, the stadium issue just is part of football today, and they're discussing it here in Denver as well, with Pat Bowlen wanting a nicer stadium. This is the 30th revenue-producing stadium in the National Football League, meaning the last. It's the produces the least money. Says he will not move that football team. The Broncos are here as long as he's the owner, but he can't make a profit here and has to sell, and can't guarantee what the next guy does.
It is a 3rd and 10 at the 28-yard line. And this is Todd McNair. We've been talking about Dateline coming up here on NBC. The way this game has been going, still 5 minutes to go, 4th quarter. We could run into the Today Show tomorrow morning.
Could we, like, you know, maybe superimpose us standing on the street corner there waving and with a sign or something?
Absolutely. And it has been a... Bill has now thrown 48 passes. Career high 55. Make it 49. This one is completed to Keith Cash. Trying to pull away. Contest. We now roll up on 4 minutes remaining in the 4th quarter. And it's Hebron as we beating Atlanta. Philadelphia over Carolina. So Atlanta, the only winless team that remains. Green Bay had a tough time with Tampa Bay. Hebron brings inside the 30. Tackled by Hasty.
When you're not a regular running back and you get a chance to break loose into that secondary, do you turn it on? That was a foot race. James Hasty just a little faster. Good blocking up front. Runs it just like a starter would. And now it's a foot race. He has to change his direction a little bit because he's got chasers from both sides. You know, the one thing that, as a coach, I always bother me a little bit late in the game when a game is over like this is somebody going not full speed. That's when you get hurt. Everybody out there, 22 players, still have to play full speed on these last 2 plays.
48-yard run by Hebron, who gets the call once again. Mike Shanahan says that Vaughn Hebron...
Sunday, as a rule, when they get in like this, they're working hard.
Mike Gerard flanked to the right. 87 McCaffrey in motion. And again, Hebron with the hole. And is able to pick up another Denver first down. It brings us to the 2-minute warning. 8 carries, 74 yards for Vaughn Hebron. We'll be right back. Last week set a new franchise record, 548 yards total offense, 502 more today. So the last 2 weeks, 1,050 and counting.
How about this? 216 of them are on the ground today. 120 of that 216 rushing yards today in the 4th quarter. So when they decided they were going to eat that clock up a little bit with a controlled drive, they're sure doing it. 120 yards rushing in the 4th quarter.
2 minutes remaining. Broncos 34-7 over the Chiefs, and now things can happen. There are miraculous comebacks. Off a drive, taking it in from a yard out, and then Elam with a 29-yard field goal for the 34-7 score. And we're down at...
So you can turn it around at some point during the game, but Kansas City just couldn't do it today.
So the Denver Broncos go to 7-1, best record in the AFC. The Kansas City Chiefs 5 up and 3 down and head back home. Next week, they'll hit the road again, playing at Minnesota. While next week, the Denver Broncos will play the Raiders in a Monday night game at Oakland. So for the Broncos, it is their best start since 1989. A bit easier today. In 3 of the previous 4 wins, Denver had to come from behind, but not the case.
If you vote Raiders in '96, you will get a commitment to excellence.
It's every citizen's right to flip that lever. So get in there and pull for either the Denver Broncos or the Oakland Raiders on ABC's Monday Night Football. Secure Oakland.
Our special forces are in full flight. The battleground is set. It's the AFC West. Denver and Oakland line up their best. We gotta get ready. We gotta get right. The Raiders want to bust the Broncos tonight. So get ready. I mean, get ready. Are you ready for some football? A Monday night party. We got Frank and Al and Dan. They're gonna get it kick-started. Lynn and the crew's all set. The crowd is psyched, 'cause all my rowdy friends are back for Monday night.
In the foreground, the lights of Oakland, California, and across the Bay Bridge, the familiar skyline of the city of San Francisco. And as we pan to the left, the sparkling lights of the Oakland Alameda County Coliseum with the $120 million plus facelift. Sold out tonight. Monday Night Football returns to Oakland for the Denver Broncos and the Oakland Raiders. Hello again, everyone. Frank Gifford with Al Michaels and Dan Deerdorf. Happy you're with us. Good matchup tonight as we return after 15 years to Oakland. And tonight we'll watch the Oakland Raiders and the Denver Broncos. The Raiders coming into tonight at 4-4, but they won 3 in a row. They're coming off a bye. It's a healthy football team and a team that is playing like people thought it would play at the very beginning of the season when a lot of people picked it to be a strong contender for the Super Bowl. The Broncos come into tonight at 7-1. They are playing like they are definitely a contender for the Super Bowl. They have lost the 1 game to Kansas City. They revenged that last week with a 34-7 win over Kansas City. They are playing well on both sides of the football. Al, they are the class of the AFC, maybe the NFL, and their quarterback, John Elway, at the age of 36, is playing perhaps the best in his career.
Frank, he looks like he's 26. Over the last month in particular, he's thrown 12 touchdown passes over the last 4 games. And last week against Kansas City, rushed for a career-high 62 yards. So he's been playing brilliantly. Terrell Davis, a great second-year running back, 6th-round draft choice out of Georgia, was leading the National Football League in rushing coming into this weekend. We'll see a lot of him tonight. And Shannon Sharp doing a marvelous job, the tight end / wide receiver, having a career year. This is a team that has stayed virtually injury-free this season, but it's also a team that has played 5 of its 8 games at home. We'll find out a lot more about the Broncos over the second half of the season as they play 5 of their last 8 on the road, including games here, at New England, and at Green Bay. And certainly after tonight, 3 hours from now, we'll know a lot more about the Denver Broncos. They come into Oakland, and I guess you can go home again. Who would have thunk it, Dan? The Denver Broncos at the Oakland Raiders, the first time Oakland's hosted a Monday night game since 1981.
December 7th, I think, Al, of 1981, almost 15 years ago, from Oakland to Los Angeles, back to Oakland. And the Raiders, I think we all know, own Monday Night Football. The best record in the history of the series, 32-13-1. But really, they shine even better than that at home. They've never lost the Monday night game at home. 12-0. 4 of those wins came at the Los Angeles Coliseum. They're 8-0 here in Oakland. A very streaky football team. They've won 3 in a row, but remember, they closed last year by losing 6 in a row. Now they've done it by playing solid football on both sides of the line of scrimmage. Jeff Hostetler is back and healthy at quarterback. He is the leader of this football team. Napoleon Kaufman, who starts tonight at running back, averaging better than 6 yards a carry. And defensively, they're being led by Chester McLaughlin. If you were with us 2 weeks ago, you saw him just terrorize the San Diego Chargers. One thing, though, hasn't changed, though. They're still the Oakland Raiders, and they still lead the league in penalties. Right now, though, Lynn Swann is down on the field with the coach of the opposition tonight, Denver's Mike Shanahan.
And in 1981, that game was against the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I was there. I know about the emotion of this game, Coach. How do you handle the emotion of this contest for you, for your team?
Well, this is what it's all about right here. What a great atmosphere. We got to really focus and concentrate on the job at hand and not get caught up into it.
John Elway seems to be the picture of eternal youth. How does he handle the pressure of a big game like this?
He's the best at it. Concentrate on his job and really takes everything out of focus, or at least he focuses on the job at hand, and he just does it time and time out.
A little harder to focus in a game like this?
And now for John, he's been there many a times. He knows in order to get the job done, he's got to focus and concentrate on the job at hand.
Coach, thank you very much. Al?
All right, thank you, Lynn. And a look at John Elway at the age of 36. Signed a 5-year contract before this season, and he has every intention of finishing that contract, which would mean he'd play until he was 40. Cole Ford, who took the job away from Jeff Jager earlier this season. Jager was traded to Chicago. Vaughn Hebron, the ex-Eagle, is back to run the kickoff back for the Denver Broncos. And here we go from the Oakland Alameda County Coliseum as Ford sends it down to the 2-yard line. And Vaughn Hebron takes it back out to the 20-yard line. Tackled there by James Trapp. And that's where the Broncos will begin things. John Elway played his college football across the bay at Stanford. 17 touchdowns and 10 interceptions this season. And a great supporting cast. Terrell Davis and Aaron Craver. Craver the blocking back. Anthony Miller and McCaffrey are the wideouts. Sharp the tight end. And the line has done a fine job this year. The veterans, Zimmerman and Schlereth on the left side, Naylor in the center, Habib and Thompson on the right side. First down from the 20-yard line with Ed McCaffrey in motion. Elway faking to Davis and then pump faking. The line buys him a lot of time, and the pass goes through the hands of Terrell Davis. So he checked off and looked toward Davis, but it went through his hands. It'll be second down and 10. Now the Raiders defensively, and they've gotten a lot better over the last 4 weeks with Johnstone, the rookie out of Temple, Maryland McLaughlin, to whom Dan referred earlier, in Swilling, Fredrickson, Beekert in the middle, and Jones are the linebackers. And in the secondary, McDaniel and Lewis at the corners, Lynch and Eddie Anderson, who's been out several weeks with a torn tricep muscle, back starting tonight. Vaughn Hebron is in the backfield on 2nd and 10. That's Hebron in motion. Everybody into the pattern as Elway escapes a sack and then has it intercepted at the 37 by Lorenzo Lynch. So the Raiders take the ball away in the first minute of play, and Oakland has it at the 27 of Denver. Chester McLaughlin put the pressure on Elway. The interception by Lorenzo Lynch and a big Oakland break just seconds into the game.
One that John would like to have back, no question about that. He was tripped up a little bit as he delivered the football, trying to go downfield. Well played by Lorenzo Lynch. Shannon Sharp, intended receiver.
From the 27.
And down goes Sharp, and stepping right in front of it, Lorenzo Lynch.
Mike Jones knocked him down, but there was no flag. First down at the 27-yard line.
I mean, how there's no flag? Who has any idea? That's blatant interference.
Long call. Pass from Hostetler to Napoleon Kaufman. He dances out of bounds inside the 10. It'll be first and goal as Gary Kubiak, the offensive coordinator, goes over things with Elway. In the meantime, the Denver defense will have to step in here. First and goal for Oakland. Again, Sharp getting tripped by Jones here.
Jones beaten badly on the play intentionally. Leans down as he's falling and grabs. You know, that's on purpose right there. He leans out, intentionally trips Shannon Sharp, and that ends up in the interception by Lynch. John Elway was throwing the football to the spot where he thought Shannon Sharp was going to be.
And Jones got away with it.
Big time.
Hoffman from the 8 to the 4. Flag is down. It'll be second and goal pending the flag. In fact, there are 2 flags down. The refereeing crew tonight headed by Jerry Austin in the white cap. And it's against Oakland. Audio interference out of Austin's mic, but clearly the holding call against whom we're not certain. Jeff Hostetler the quarterback, with Napoleon Kaufman starting at running back and Derek Fenner, the blocking back. Jed and Brown outside. Tim having another great year. Ricky Dudley, the rookie tight end. Jenkins, Wisniewski, Robbins, Gogan, and Kennedy, the interior 5. Holding call sends it back to the 18-yard line and makes it first down and goal. 5-man Denver rush. Flushing Hostetler. Jeff on the move inside the 10, goes down at the 5-yard line. It'll be second down and goal.
Oh, the Raiders taking the page out of the Broncos book with 4 wide receivers.
Take a look now at the Denver defensive line. Dan Williams, Lodish, Michael Dean Perry, and Alfred Williams has been great this year. Romanowski, Aldridge moves from the outside to the middle, and Mobley was the #1 draft choice out of Little Kutztown in Pennsylvania. Crockett and Randy Hilliard starting at the corners, Atwater and Braxton at the safeties. Lionel Washington would have started at right corner, but suffered a knee injury last week in a very controversial play involving the Chiefs. Dale Gardner and is out 2 to 4 weeks, thus the start for Hilliard tonight. Second down and goal from the 6. And here's Kaufman back of Fenner, but nowhere to roam. He stopped at the 5. Third and goal. Dan Williams with the tackle.
One position we will be watching tonight, Randy Hilliard is opening for Lionel Washington at the right cornerback for the Denver Broncos. And you can be certain that Mike White, we had a moment, look at him a moment ago, the head coach will be trying to get some kind of a matchup against Hilliard. Timmy Brown, one of them, and that means Troy James, also a rookie, will be starting in that secondary for Denver. So a makeshift secondary for Denver. They're thin there anyway.
I think it's Dan Williams.
It is.
The Denver Bronco defensive end. He's injured. We'll be back.
Only one has the moves of Barry Sanders. Only one has his acceleration. Only one has his control. Only one has such breathtakingly perfect balance. Seville STS with the North Star system. A great performer creates a higher standard.
We've invested billions to help businesses grow and provided billions more to improve homes and finance educations. We developed special insurance to pay for nursing home care and low-cost life insurance for people over 50. Because at Transamerica, we sell life insurance, but our real business is improving your life. Transamerica, life insurance, leasing, commercial, and consumer loans.
Who's got the winning color?
Dan Williams on the sidelines. He was just kicked, and I'm sure we'll see him back in the lineup very shortly.
He comes out, and Harold Hasselback comes in as the Raiders get set to run a third down and goal from just inside the 5. Mike White took over for Art Shell last year, the 60-year-old in his second season as the head coach. Hostetler leads him up to the line of scrimmage. And Tim Brown is in the backfield, at least for the moment, then starts in motion and works out of the slot. And Hostetler will run for the end zone and get there. Touchdown Raiders.
You can see the Raiders flooded that side of the field. Tim Brown was in motion. He went back to that side, made a 3-receiver side. Everybody went with the 3 receivers, and Frank Hostetler very alertly saw the defense go with his guys and just took it in easily.
We have 2 of the finest that are doing just this here tonight, John Elway and Jeff Hostetler. Both will take that run if you give it to them. He pulls it down. He knows he can get 6 yards. A good scrambler, maybe not quite as effective as John Elway, but a good scrambler, Jeff Hostetler.
Working that side of the field exclusively. Never even looked anywhere to the right.
Cole Ford, meanwhile, just does kick it through just inside the left upright as Jeff Hostetler scores his first rushing touchdown in 2 years. 3 minutes into the game, Oakland 7, Denver nothing.
They should play on Monday Night Football.
Nah, Monday's their bowling night.
Only one has the moves of Barry Sanders. Only one has his acceleration. Only one has his control. Only one has such breathtakingly perfect balance. Seville STS with the North Star system. A great performer creates a higher standard.
It's ABC Wild Wednesday. Back in high school, Drew had a fling with his band teacher. Is this their love child? An all-new Drew, ABC Wednesday.
The Oakland Raiders seeking their 4th consecutive victory, and Jeff Hostetler, who has guided them to 3 straight, has just taken it into the end zone. 7-0 Raiders after the Lorenzo Lynch interception, and the fact that Mike Jones got away with a trip on Shannon Sharp that the officials never saw. The kickoff by Cole Ford just does get out of bounds before it goes into the end zone, and that's a huge difference between what would have been a touchback had the kick gone 1 more yard. It would have come out to the 20, and the fact that he booted it out of bounds at the 1-yard line, and that means that the Denver Broncos will take over at the 40.
It's actually one of the biggest penalties in the game of football, is to kick the ball out of bounds. When you were talking about field position at the 40-yard line, it's one of the most punitive penalties in all of football.
Well, I think it was put in there to make sure when they were not running kickoffs back a few years ago, to assure they would be running the kickoff back. It was a very exciting play, and the league wanted to see it.
1 errant yard off the foot of Cole cost them 20. So the Broncos begin the drive from the 40, and there's nowhere to roam for Terrell Davis as Mike Jones makes the tackle.
Mike Jones on the tackle.
Interesting, both these teams coming in here tonight running the ball, averaging about 5 yards a carry. And thus far, we've seen the ball in the air. Both of them very capable of running, at least in the early first half of the season.
Conversely, Frank, 2 of the best run defenses in the NFL as well.
Strength against strength. 2nd down and 9 from the 41-yard line. And here is Davis looking for room, cuts it back. Picks up 4 to the 45. Tackled there by Chester McLaughlin. Monday Night Football from Oakland is being brought to you by Cadillac and your Cadillac dealers. Transamerica, the power of the pyramid is working for you. Nike and Brewery Fresh Budweiser reminds you fresh beer tastes better. Oakland Alameda County Coliseum expanded to 62,000. Davis comes out of the game on 3rd down. It is 3rd down and 5. At the 45-yard line.
4 wide receivers again for Denver.
And Elway out of the gun. Good protection. Then throws. Tipped and almost caught by McCaffrey. Incomplete. Tipped off the hands of Shannon Sharp initially. Nearly picked off. And then McCaffrey almost had a reception, but it wouldn't have been a 1st down anyway. And Elway starts the game 0 for his first 3. It's 4th down.
Well, outstanding coverage by the Raiders.
And with no blitz, Dan, they're just taking a man for man and playing him very tight. That's Albert Lewis on that coverage.
Well, and that's the lockup that Mike White told us he wants to get. Whenever Shannon Sharp is inside, he's going to lock up Albert Lewis because of Albert's great size at 6'2" and his experience 14 years.
Tom Ruin to Tim Brown, who fair catches it at the 15-yard line, a 40-yard boot, and the Raiders get it back deep in their own territory. Oakland 7, Denver nothing.
AT&T presents A World Without Limits. What's the NFL mark for rushing proficiency? Stay tuned.
You know, I have been trying to explain this new AT&T One Rate plan.
Hey, I am tired of all these little phone companies, people you never heard of.
No, this is AT&T.
They say big discounts, but who can tell with all the restrictions?
No restrictions. Calls from home, a one low rate, all the time.
Yeah, but only to certain people or certain times.
No, 15 cents a minute to anybody in America, anytime.
And I get this from AT&T?
Yes.
I don't know.
I thought I was doing so well.
No restrictions, no games. The AT&T One Rate plan.
The record for rushing yardage belongs to the 1978 Patriots. Despite not having a single 1,000-yard rusher, Sam Cunningham, Horace Ivory, and Andy Johnson each gained over 600 yards. By using strength in numbers, the Patriots elevated the art of rushing to new levels.
If you ever take your Pontiac Sunfire driving through some famous expressionist painting, hey, it'll fit right in. Because it looks like a work of art, right? And it drives like a real scream. Pontiac Sunfire, driving excitement for round 13.5.
ABC Wednesday.
Well, when you heard all the gossip about me coming out, this is what we meant.
Catch a new Ellen, ABC Wild Wednesday.
Not so bad, isn't it?
Folks, pay attention. This is textbook coverage by a defensive back. Albert Lewis, number 29. Look at him get into Sharp. Won't allow him to release. They're inside the 5-yard zone. This was just a 3rd and 5 play. That is just perfect coverage on Shannon Sharp. This is a matchup that the Raiders want to see all night. Their veteran, number 29, against Denver's number 84.